Please don't take my globe away from me. It makes me feel so happy. Mwah. Please don't take my globe away from me. The world I live on, spinning round and round, taking me through the starry night of the void. Oh, Blake, pear-shaped spheroid. Don't take my globe away from me. Check it out. Boom, 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 boom. Captain Crep here with my globe. Now, you know what? There's the whole thing about, space, right? Spinning planets and globes and all the rest of it. Why is it? Why does the North Pole have to be at the top of the globe and the South at the bottom? If up and down is a relative concept, why not that way? Or why not that way even? Or any way, any which way. And you got all this water wrapped around it. It's not coming off. And the atmosphere, and it's spinning around 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Really. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. My hand is in the way. 1 second. It's an amazing concept though, isn't it? Living on something like this. Can you imagine that? Australia, down under, and there's that mysterious continent, the Antarctic. Oh, there's a whole hollow earth theory. The hollow earth theory, look. The world within, that's another theory, isn't it? There's a world within the earth. They've got the hollow earth idea. A friend of mine actually believed in that hollow earth idea, but it's just kind of silly as well because the rotation of the earth, right, creates an artificial gravity inside the earth. Therefore, it's like an invert earth. So we are on the surface of the earth standing that way, and then the people inside the earth on the other side of the earth are standing that way. So the centrifugal force of the earth spinning around holds them in place. So why the flipping heck are we not getting chucked off? I mean, that is a silly theory. They talk about Admiral Byrd, and he was a Freemason. So Admiral Byrd, right? He was famous for his Antarctic expeditions. He also went to the Arctic as well. And there's stories of, say, he found this giant hole in the North Pole, like this one here. This fella here. And he actually went inside the Earth and discovered the hollow Earth. Lots of stories of this. There's a story as well. I was talking about this previously. There's a book called World Beyond the Poles. That's based on Admiral Byrd's expeditions and discoveries, but being a Freemason or all that, it's a bit of a grey area, really, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's mad, isn't it? How you got this continent right at the bottom of this globe. I mean, what's all that about? What are the chances of that? Why couldn't the Antarctic be like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? Or why right at the bottom? I mean, there's a lot of different ideas about flat Earth. There's the Darren Nesbitt. He says he doesn't believe in that the AE, what's it called, the AE projection, where it's a flat Earth. Yeah, you got the Arctic in the middle, and then the Antarctic is an ice wall around the edge. I mean, 90% of flat earthers believe in that model, but he doesn't believe in it. He thinks that's as much tosh as the globe. His idea is an infinite time loop. It has all the characteristics of a globe, but it's flat. You go west, you end up going east. You go north, you end up going south. But it's speculation. There is mystery. There's a big mystery, and there are a lot of questions to be answered about this whole concept. My beautiful globe. I don't know why to burn it. I was talking about burning it, but it's beautiful, isn't it? I just love my globe. I love you, my globe. I love you. Don't take away my globe from me. Dancing through the stars, spinning round, making me dizzy. Don't take away my globe from me. It's been a long day. Oh well, there you go. Over you go. Anyway, I was listening to this early this morning. Before the crack of dawn, long before the crack of dawn. The crack of dawn's at 8 o'clock now, isn't it? We'll be coming up to the winter solstice tomorrow. I'll show you the tomorrow and Christmas Day coming up. Oh, feeling very festive for my Christmas tree over there. And I'll put my lights on actually. I'm going to put my lights on. It's all cheery. Put my lights on. Put my Christmas light, put my fairy lights on. Oh, anyway. Got my fairy lights on now. Yeah. I was watching this video this morning. Flat Earth UK. Nathan Oakley, the name of the guy. I think he lives in Warwickshire somewhere. It says these, apparently Warwickshire's got the lowest light pollution in the whole of the UK. Probably bar the south coast of Isle of Wight and certain parts of Highlands of Scotland, I'm sure. Maybe on the mainland England. Mind you, there's lots of places in England and Wales where the sky's really clear, you know. I've been to Wales and it's like amazing, the clarity of this night sky in North Wales. Up in Snowdonia. It's just like you can see the star clusters in the Milky Way and everything. It's beautiful, you know. Don't get here in London, you can see about 3 stars. Light pollution and other pollution, you know. Anyway, Nathan Oakley, he was he always has, he's like a hangout. He always chats to different flat earthers on each of his shows. Got quite a big following, and he's talked to quite a few. He usually talks to the Yanks, you know. There's more Yanks into it than Brits, I think. And you got Peter Peterson, of course, who are Brits, you know, with the banter and all that, you know. The Leicestershire, there's those 2 guys from Leicestershire. Quite funny they are, and they talk about other stuff as well. But flat Earth is the main topic, and then you got Nathan Oakley in Warwickshire trying to get his wife into the flat Earth. She's not. I don't think she can get her head around it. I didn't watch the whole video, but him and his missus were on there talking to Mike Sargent, another prominent flat earther in America, and going over the basics. And I seen the expression on her face. She just can't get her head around it, you know. A lot of people can't because we've been programmed and been brainwashed to believe in living on the globe, you know. Anyway, this morning. He's talking to what's he called now? Matt Powers. He's an artist. He does photorealistic art. He's a fucking amazing artist. You know, I've seen a few of his YouTube vids actually, and he was employed by NASA, and NASA actually employed him, and he was an artist for NASA. He used to do all the planets and the nebulas and all those wonderful, those wonderful galaxies and nebulas and all the rest of it, star clusters, and he did Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, all those planets renderings, and a lot of them can pass off as photographs, you know. And I mean, he's a flat earther, this guy now, and I mean, there is the question of whether this Matt Powers is a Canadian dude, brilliant artist, and he does stand up now. He doesn't work for NASA anymore. He does stand up and he does his art. That's how he makes his living. He goes up on stage and he tells jokes as a stand up does, and he always throws in the flat Earth ideas, you know, and shows all his work that he's done for NASA, which have been passed off as photographs, you know. I mean, pretty much 100% of NASA imagery is either fake, it's either photoshopped, CGI, or paintings, rendering, you know. Before they had CGI, it was all done by artwork. The marble Earth, was that the blue marble? That's the alleged photograph of Earth when the last Apollo mission was coming back from the moon in 1972, or Apollo 17. There's the only photograph that was actually taken of the Earth in those 6 Apollo missions to the moon. Only one photo was taken of the Earth, and that was on the return journey from the 6th successful moon mission, you know. The blue marble, it's been used everywhere. It's got Africa and the Antarctic on it. And it's a painting, you know, it's a beautiful painting. It's all photorealistic, you know. But it passes off as a photo. Everyone accepts it as a photograph from Apollo 17. And anyway, I don't think Matt. No, it wasn't done by Matt. It's before his time because he's not that old. I think he's about the same age as me, late 40s, early 50s, perhaps. But he was working for NASA from the 90s up till the early 2000s. And anyway, I was watching, and I'm going to put the link below this. Actually, I'm going to post a link of an interview he had with someone where he explains his whole thing, how he got into flat Earth. It was in 2003, and he was actually pulled up by his bosses in NASA, and they said to him, they actually told, this is what he's saying. This is his. He's actually saying to them that these bosses, top bosses from way upstairs, you know, he said, you know, the Earth's flat, right? And he just thought he was taking the piss, you know. Are you testing me out or something? Is this some kind of a psychological test? And they started laughing at him because he was like, yeah, you know, he didn't know how to make out, and they were showing him all these alternative projections of the Earth based on flat Earth model, and the United Nations logo, you know, showing a flat Earth without any Antarctic. It's got a laurel wreath around it, which is 90% of the flat earthers believe in that particular model. Whether it's true or not, who knows? It's a mystery. This is a mystery. Like I said, Darren Nesbitt, he doesn't believe in that particular model, even though he's a flat earther himself. There's lots of different models, you know. I mean, if you go into ancient histories, the different cultures have their own sort of ideas of what the Earth looked like. Many similarities, many differences, but many similarities too. But it's like not until Copernicus come along in 1543, and it's from then on the globe idea became a fact. The theory became fact, and nobody could really tell it was a globe until the 1940s when they started sending V2 rockets up. Thanks to the Nazis, the National Socialists, with rocket technology, they could send rockets high enough up into the upper atmosphere to check out the shape of the Earth, the curvature. There's anyway. I've seen a photograph. There's a photograph from the V2 rocket sent up into 65 miles altitude. And it's a black and white photo, and it's kind of tilted like that, flat as a fucking pancake. The answer, you know, 65 miles up, they should be able to see some curve at that height, you know. And the horizon is at high level as usual. Anyway, this guy, Matt Powers. God, I've only got 4 minutes left to go. I've got to get myself a proper camera. Bloody phones, you know. Too many photos on my phone now, taking up all space. I might just have to delete some. I've only got fucking 4 minutes left. Oh, God. So much to say, so little time to say it in. I'll have to make this a part 1 and do a part 2 later on, I suppose. Anyway, he was saying it took him 3 years from the year 2003 to 2006, I suppose. 3 years. He said he was in cognitive dissonance for 3 years, fighting this whole idea of being a flat Earth. But the people upstairs in NASA, they know it's flat, right? But it's such a compartmentalised organisation. Obviously, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and only the people upstairs control the different departments, you know. And the artists, there's so many artists in there doing all these images, planetary, cosmic images, you know. And they're all separated in different departments, different compartments, and then all the renditionings, the artistic renderings or renditions or whatever, are brought together by the people upstairs at the top of the pyramid, so to speak. And anyway, it was saying that, you know, when you bring up the idea that we're not living on a globe to people now, the reaction is, in some cases, really extreme. People react angrily or even, to certain extent, violently, you know. They can't handle it. It's like, too much, come on. Or they just, this ridiculous laugh at you. It's like, what the, you know. You do get a lot of mixed reaction from people when you tell them the Earth is flat, you know. a belief system that's been going on throughout human history, since the dawn of humanity, I suppose, right through till 500 years ago. And now we've come full circle. The globe theory is kind of like going out the window now, when you can, with NASA and all the space agencies worldwide are all colluding with one another. What was I going to say? Disguising us with science fiction, disguising the world with science fiction, wrapping us up in science fiction in a nice, cotton, woolly, warm, fuzzy ball of science fiction. Anyway, and he was saying, this guy, this Matt Powers, he was saying that back in the day there was an artist in the... Right, I was going to say this quickly before I go off. It's like blasphemy. Saying that we live in a flat world is blasphemy to some people. It's like a religion. The global Earth is a religion. NASA is a religion. Scientism is a religion. And if you say anything that contradicts what they're telling us, it's met with a strong opposition, you know. And it's like blasphemy. There's a famous artist, I forgot his name. Not that famous, obviously. Not as famous as Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, but there's one, it was kind of like well known, and he painted these angels. Okay. He painted angels standing on the ground and he got a lot of flack for it. End of part one. Back at you. Boom.